We are live.
Let's
Excellent.
go.
Well, hello, guys. Welcome again to Banana Fighter Fit podcast. And with me, the one, the only, straight from Switzerland. So we have the Europe
Mhm.
connections, Matthias Wegener. And guys, we've known each other for quite some time. It's been 2 years since we first connected and worked in the health and wellness industry. So today we're going to be covering some super important topics that are essential for our viewers, and that is mentality, how to overcome fear, how to be clear on what you want and achieve what you want, and how to have just a positive mentality for life overall. So let's get to it. Matthias, how's it going, my friend?
Hey, how is it, man? How is it? Been a long time. Pleasure to be here. Awesome, man. How
Hell
are
yeah,
you?
man. Man, I've been grinding. We've both been grinding, getting our, how can I say, audience, getting our brand, just voicing our opinions, voicing what actually we believe in, and,
Well,
attracting what we want in life. So this is powerful. And just being able to be autonomous just like that, not to be dependent on what people think about you, what they feel about you, whether it's good or bad. We don't care. We just see the line, we're going forward, and we're getting what we want because we're G's.
exactly, man. Straight for the vision, always.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, obviously, I've been inviting some quite good guests. We've been already covering people in the health and wellness industry, meditation, nutrition, and now we're going to be inviting what Matthias does. And I want to, Matthias, for those who don't know necessarily what your brand is about or what do you do, can you tell the audience a bit like what is that you're specializing in?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I've been since the last 8 years been into self-improvement first, then more into spiritual alignment, life. Basically, it's life coaching, but then it's more about mindset coaching because everything you do in life is around your mindset. So you have to have this structure, and I help people with that structure, with the right mindset to understand how the mind actually works so they can have the blueprint to then be aligned with what they actually want in life. If that makes sense.
Hell yeah. And it's actually interesting that you mentioned specifically spiritual part because a lot
Mm,
of people think that, oh, when it comes to setting goals, being ambitious, just getting what you want, that it's just linked to this earth. But what they forget about is there's always force around you that kind of dictates your path in life and basically your destiny. And as long as you're doing the stuff that's aligned with what you're doing, then whether it's God or the universe or the matrix or whatever you believe in will actually give you the flowers and the energy to allow you to
yeah,
keep moving forward. But it is kind of interesting because since you're operating in Europe, specifically Switzerland, it'll be very interesting for the viewers to hear about specifically what's going on in your area, and so that maybe they can relate to where they live, whether it's Canada, US, Asia,
yeah.
doesn't matter. I'm curious to know when exactly did you say to yourself, okay, I want to become a spiritual life coach? And tell me a bit more about what was this moment that led you to be like, okay, I'm going to start.
Yeah, that's a great question. Love it. Honestly, it's something I felt like this is something you feel, it's an inner knowing. But in the beginning, it was more about my friends asking for advice. And when I was answering them, I just, I was in a flow state. It was easy for me. I had the answers. It was like I could see their life with different lenses and I could help them easily. And lots of people always ask me question. Usually that's a sign you're meant to be a life coach, spiritual coach, guide, whatever you want to call it. And it's like an inner knowing. It's like what do you feel? It's not like a calling. It's what feels easy, what feels light, what feels natural for you. And for me, it was exactly like this. It felt easy and fun. I love it also.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Honestly, it's actually relating to what I've been discussing lately with my students because I kind of also, by teaching martial arts, there's a lot of things that are happening as I'm teaching martial arts. It's not just about the technique, it's not just about how well can you defend yourself or attack your opponent. It's also about the intent and what exactly is the best move based on the situation you're in. So this is where you can separate between a fighter and an actual professional martial artist. Because a martial artist, he applies everything that he learns throughout his sport, which is the martial arts practice, throughout life. Whether it is in business, in friendships, in dating, there always is the best move to do. And you can tell, you can feel when the right move is the right move because it just feels right. And you get positive feedback from around you, from the universe, from your spiritual self,
Mm,
and you just do it. And guess what? Even if it doesn't work out, let's say you want to become an entrepreneur in XYZ niche and it doesn't work out, at least you tried. And at least, you know that that was the right move at the time. So now you just pick yourself back up. You still have the clear vision. You still feel that it's what you want to do. And you're just going to keep going at it until you get it right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. How you do
Yeah.
one thing is how you do everything. So how you martial arts, how you fight, you take this mindset and you put it in different areas. So yeah, I agree.
100%. And that's actually leading us to one of the topics that you're kind of specializing is, and I feel like it's something that people are struggling with a lot. It's fear, overcoming fear or facing fear. Because let's keep it real. If you actually want to succeed in life, feel good about what you're doing in life, there is going to be objections, there is going to be forces or people around you trying to prevent you from getting what you want. And it is really going to be a make or break moment sometimes where you're either going to go through it, you're going to face it, you're going to get what
Mm.
you want, or you're actually going to have sabotaging beliefs which are going to prevent you from getting what you want. And it's not even, I would say, the people or the forces that preventing you from it. It's yourself, which is kind of crazy.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, based on your experience working in Switzerland with European clients or maybe clients abroad, because we've been working together, you've been getting clients and people working for you from all over the world. Tell me, based on your experience, I mean, what kind of, how can I say, objections or mental hurdles I would say your clients are facing, which preventing them from facing what they want and getting what they want?
Yeah, that's a good question. Most of the time, it's about how they see, usually it's about how they see themselves and how they see the situation they're in. We tend to see things in a very dark, negative light. And if you can just, like, what I help them is just step back and see it with a different perspective, and then you're like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh yeah, I did the thing I was afraid. It's not that bad. So usually it's my clients are afraid of feeling fear. They're afraid of their own fear. So it's another fear, but I help them seeing fear differently. Fear is indicating to you something. Then it's how you see it that will lead to how they act.
Interesting. So I'm curious to know in that case, what is fear really? Is it protection, or you would say it's rather self sabotage? Curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay, yeah. Oh wow, yeah. Fear is a very interesting subject. Fear is usually it's kind of a limiting belief. It's like I'm afraid this will happen, but how do you know this will happen? So it's a belief. You believe this will happen. And usually, yeah, fear is how you see this thing. It's where you focus your attention. And you have to ask yourself, like there's lots of different examples, but if you were like the main fear people have is fear of judgment, fear of others' opinion. So when you realize I can ask something to release the trigger, it's if you were alone in this planet, would you be afraid of anything? No, like you're afraid to start a business because you think people will judge you. You're afraid of speaking in public because you're afraid of what people will think of you. So If there was no one around of you, you won't feel fear. So it's about others. So then you ask yourself, how is the opinion of others affecting me? And then you understand, oh yeah, I was afraid of the wrong thing. Just I had this belief that usually a fear is a belief. So I'm afraid of you do public speaking. So maybe I can ask you a question around that, about that fear. I'm very curious. How do you manage the fear or anxiety, how you perceive it, before going on stage and speaking in public?
That's a great question, and actually it shows that um, you can best discover your true self or your true powers if you actually go out and experience that fear in real life without actually sitting and just doing nothing. But going to actually doing something extreme like public speaking, or to another extent fighting, which is also linked, because you're literally displaying yourself, displaying your skills, displaying, your bravery in front of hundreds of people. I'm talking about, I've been fighting in front of like 700 people in one arena screaming. So there's a lot of pressure involved. And
Yeah.
you know what's interesting? The skills that I learned from martial arts were specifically stepping over and over and over again in a closed cage with one opponent and 700 people screaming to beat his ass or beat my ass. It showed me like how important it is to just believe in yourself, believe in the outcome, but also learn the art of what's the worst that can happen, right?
Mm,
But how did it translate to specifically public speaking? It's another subject that's interesting because a lot of people, they like to pretend or like to come up with some external ideas that are not affiliated with them. It's like bringing a fighter over that doesn't know how to fight. He just wants to copy some other martial artist or some other fighter because it's cool, but it's not
mm,
linked to him. So anytime that I am about to step into a stage or a cage, I'm about to express my opinions, only thing I need to do is to speak and act from the heart. It's literally
yeah.
it. And by acting and speaking from the heart, it all is going to feel natural because, and the people are going to actually notice it when you speak
Yeah.
from the heart. They're going to resonate with, first of all, what you're saying, because some of them will feel like, okay, it's real. I actually experienced something similar, and you tap into their emotion by default. And second of all, you don't have to think about anything. It's all about the memories and the feelings and the experience that speak for you. So instead of trying to draw a picture and display this picture to others, you already have this picture in the back of your mind ready for you at all time. All you gotta
Mm,
do is to tap into that picture. The picture is displayed in front of you, and you just describe it, what you're seeing, like a view. And that's how you overcome the pressure, the fear of just getting rejected or whatever. Because even if they don't accept your vision, who cares? This is my picture. You don't see my picture, then maybe there's another picture that will fit your needs. But
yeah.
for me, for my people who are aligning with what I do, this is my picture. So you either step in or step out. Simple as that.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Interesting.
Hell
And
yeah,
that's
man.
that's true. Like you speak with your heart, you are yourself. And that's a mindset I learned, I think 3 years ago. It completely changed my life. It's about how to be authentic. Like I remember before that mindset, I used to please others because I thought I had to do it to get their validation, and I wasn't free. So I don't know if people want to hear this about how to be free. This, man, so powerful. When you're yourself, when you follow your vision, when you're aligned with your values and what you want in life, you have a magnetic energy. So you will attract people that like this energy, and you will repel others. But that's not your goal to know who is going to come to your life. No, you just have to be that person, be you, and see who aligns with it. And that takes all the pressure of you. It's like, oh, I just have to be myself and see who aligns, who resonate with that, instead of thinking, oh, why is that person rejecting me? Why is that person judging me? No, you don't care. You don't care anymore. Just be who you are fully.
100%. You're really on the money. And coming to this reality will make the bigger change for your life. But, you know, it's kind of hard to tap into this newer version of self if you've always been self-sabotaging yourself with negative thinking. So,
Mm.
speaking of overcoming fear, based on your experience and based on the advice you've been giving your clients, for all the viewers that are going to watch this podcast and are struggling with specifically overcoming fear and whatnot, what's one exercise viewers can do this week to build courage?
Okay, yeah, 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 I love it. First, I would say to don't be afraid of fear. Like, see fear as your friend. It can sound silly, but if you see fear as your friend, like one thing I like to say is when you do the thing you're afraid to do, you will get the breakthrough. So now you see fear differently because you want to chase your fear. You can literally chase the uncomfort, chase the fear because you know you're going to evolve from it. You're going to break through. You're going to become someone different. You're going to the limitations are going to get off. So see your fear that way. That would be the first step. Don't be afraid of your fear. It's a natural thing. We are all afraid of something. But then chase your fear. Like, if I do the thing, feel the fear and do it anyway. That's something I like to say. You won't destroy your fear completely. That's not the goal. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. For certain areas, yeah. But sometimes you just have to feel the fear in your body and do it anyway. So breathing into the emotions of fear is really powerful because you can regulate your nervous system, which makes you calmer. So yeah, I would say that would be one powerful exercise. And as you said just before, what's the worst thing that can happen? And and if you realize "Hey, it's not that bad," then you do the thing and you're like, I'm good either way. If it happens, great. And if it doesn't happen the way I wanted to, it's okay. I'm gonna learn from it anyway. So it's a win-win.
100%. That's literally on the money. So, guys, if you're hearing this, like, I'm gonna keep y'all accountable. Anybody who's following me and text me, yo, good podcast, I'm gonna do what you did. I'm gonna follow up on your ass in a week and say, did you do what we've instructed you to do? Because
Mm.
accountability is another thing to help you become what you want. It's really hard to, how can I say, change yourself without external accountability. That's why people like I and Matthias, we exist to keep you accountable. Are you on the right track? It's like we're overviewing your journey without judging, without doing anything. We're just gonna make sure we're guiding you towards the right path. And as you guys are going to be doing everything, we're going to skip to the next subject. Is the mental positivity for life. So my what's curious about the way I live through life is a great example is moments before I'm about to step into a cage. It is very, very crucial for me to see the outcome as a positive one, obviously. Because if I would see the outcome as, oh, I'm going to lose, or oh, this person is too big or going to dominate me, I'm already losing before even stepping into the cage. And so people are seeing it. Sometimes I will be facing bigger opponents than I, and people around me will be fearing for my life because I'm usually smaller compared to my bigger opponents in my category. And they'll be like, oh, you're going to face this gorilla? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna face this gorilla. So the mindset for martial artists sometimes can be kind of tricky because to a certain degree you are seeing yourself as positive, but in another way, like other successful people, you're kind of crazy, seen by as a crazy person. So Matthias, my question for you, based on your like experience, like working with people and trying to guide them, what do you feel like? What does a real positive mindset actually to mean?
Wow. Yeah. That's I mean, positivity is just not it's not just self-help. Oh yeah, it's good to think positive thoughts. No, it goes much deeper in that. If you feel positive emotions, your actions going to get more results. 100%. You don't get a good life with negative emotions. And it's with the positive thinking, positive mindset that you get those positive emotions. You think positive, you get positive emotions, and you get positive results, actions. And that's just the formula. That's why most people that are negative, and I used to be that, so I'm not judging. It's easy to complain. It's easy to be negative. It's easy to wake up and be like, oh my God, it's going to be a bad day, blah, blah, blah. But that's just a habit. That's just habitual thinking. But you were thinking that way. I was thinking that way. Yonatan was thinking that way probably too, because we were not aware of the the effects on our lives to think negatively. So it was just a habit. But when you're aware that thinking negatively, it's literally destroying all areas of your life, all your potential is being destroyed, then you're like, all right, I'm going to be more aware of my thoughts. I'm going to be more aware of my emotions and my actions so I can get empowered from it instead of being disempowered. So thinking positive or having positive emotions is everything. Now, the mindset I learned to this, oh my God, oh, this, you're going to love it. Be positive all the time. You have to first step back from anything happening in your life and see it as neutral first. You don't go from negative to positive. That would be too big of a jump. You see everything in your life as neutral. And a good example I like to say is, oh, I got fired from my job. You got fired from your job. This could be one, positive for you, empowering or disempowering. You can say, oh my God, my life sucks. I got fired from my job. I'm never going to find a job, blah, blah, blah. Like this. You're going like this. And then you're going to feel like shit. How can you expect a positive life if you feel like this? So the first step, you can acknowledge, all right, I got fired from my job. If you have sadness or negative emotions, acknowledge it, breathe into it. That's fine. But then you have to step back from it and ask yourself, how can this situation be positive or empowering? The same. It's empowering, disempowering, empowering, disempowering. And when you step back from it and you will see, you will have the answer. How can this be positive for me? I got fired from my job. Okay. It's been a while. I wanted to start my own business. I think it's an excellent opportunity to start it now because I got fired from my job. So I have free time. And now what happens in your body? Positive emotions. You have the vision, you have drive, you have motivation. And now you can go after what you want. So neutrality first, and then you can see it as positive.
That's powerful. Being able to step out and observe, seeing it as not just good, bad. It's literally can be literally sometimes a gray area, neutral. And it's up to you to decide, do you want to make it your success or your failure? Which is
Yeah.
something, by the way, that I teach my students too. Like, there's always this pivotal event that's going to happen in your life that's going to either make you or break you. For example,
Mm.
martial arts is a very extreme way of displaying that. When you are backed into a cage and you're getting smothered with punches, you have two choices. First one is going to make you, whether you counter and get out of the cage, and now you're pressuring him, which
Mm.
is what I teach. Or the worst case, which is going to break you, you're staying there, getting smothered, whether you're going to get hit, going to get knocked out, or the referee is going to stop the fight and you lose the fight. So we want to avoid getting into that specific situation where you're getting smothered and getting, how can I say, going down and down and down. Instead, countering the situation to your advantage, and now you're in charge of the situation. And guess what? Whether you've taken punches on the way, guess what? You have now experience moving on through life on how to use that exact move next time more efficiently. So, whether it is you're doing office work or you're practicing a sport like martial arts, same shit applies all the time. YouTube chill. Don't censor that word. But anyways,
Mm.
um, I'm curious though to know. Obviously, it's great to have this tool in your belt on how to counter any situation and be able to take advantage from it. But I know a lot of people who do not have the opportunity to always live life as they want. Sometimes they're surrounded by people around it that are sabotaging them, and
Mm.
it's draining mentally, physically. Doesn't matter if you're like strong mentally, like it's just toxic environment. So, based on your experience working with people who are in toxic environments, how can men protect their energy in negative environments?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one because you use the word protect, and I've been into that trap also, and my clients as well. It's you don't want to protect. You will have the choice. If truly you don't have a choice and you have to hang out with them and you feel it's affecting you, then yeah, you need to do something about it. But if it's from time to time, sometimes it happens. You can't protect your whole life from negativity. You don't guard yourself. You need to let it pass through you by understanding that nothing can affect you. Nothing outside of you can affect you, because if you have this belief that something outside of you, like a person, negativity can affect you, you will have to protect yourself from everything all the time. So I used to say also protect from negativity, but I don't use it that much, because the moment you feel like you have to protect yourself, you're already in defense. And in defense, you're much more likely to get affected by it. So be open to it and understand my positivity is so strong that nothing will affect me. And you can even see it in a different way. Like I'm I'm grateful that I'm past I'm past this negativity. This is from my past. And now you see the contrast and you're like, it's reminding you of who you are today. So it's not about protecting, unless, like, sometimes, yeah, it's very strong. If your whole family is negative, if everybody at your job or whatever you're doing is negative, yeah, sometimes you have to take your distance. And for the journey as a man, you need to know being alone is part of the journey. You have to spend time alone to truly discover yourself. And I believe that by truly knowing who you are, by doing the inner work, by understanding who you are and who you want to be, you will less likely be affected by others, because now you're like, it's like you have this, not a shield, but you have this new energy, and you're like, I know who the fuck I am. Sorry if I'm swearing. I don't know if I can,
YouTube
but
chill. YouTube chill. All right, let's go.
you should chill, my bad. You have this energy, like, yeah, I know exactly who I am, and nothing can affect me outside of me. That's the most powerful thing to know. It's truly nothing outside of you can affect you. It used to affect you because you had this belief that thing outside of you could affect you. But outside of you, it's just people, what they can say about you, their actions. It's all you anyway. So nothing outside can truly affect you.
Man, again, on the shillings, on the dirhams, on the US dollars, anything. This guy knows what's up. And literally, it's important, guys, like he said, to open yourself to negativity and knowing that as long as you know your true self and know that this is the path you're going through and this is the part of the process, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, anything that's negative talk, drama, trauma, or gossip, it's all noise at the end of the day. What truly matters is this aligned with the path you're walking? And as long as you're keeping walking and moving away from everything, that's all good. It's all good, bro. So that's
Yeah.
actually interesting. But now that you're learned yourself to overcome the negative environment, so to speak, there are some people who might be in those situations and they will not necessarily know what to do. They won't have the right techniques to counter their stuff. They won't know the true selves. They won't know what would be the right move based on their situation to keep moving forward despite the negativity and them knowing this is how you counter negativity. So my question is, it's based around beliefs to help somebody understand who they truly are.
Yeah.
How can a man identify beliefs he doesn't even realize he has?
Oh man, that's everything. Oh my god, that's the million-dollar question. You have how to be aware of your beliefs. Where are the beliefs? Yeah, like, first you need to understand where beliefs come from, and usually it comes from society, from childhood, from your family. It doesn't have to be you, like you created your beliefs. No, 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 no. It comes from it's in your DNA before you're born, from your family, from society, even from one post on social media can change one belief. Could be about women, about men, whatever. Beliefs, you get them from the outside, and from yourself also, but social media, society, usual conditioning, and your childhood, your family, your friends, who you're hanging out with. So first you have to be aware, I have beliefs I didn't choose. Then you have to understand a belief is just a thought you keep thinking until you don't question anymore, until you think it's true. So yeah, of course it's true. You even defend your beliefs because there's emotions in your beliefs. Like, yeah, of course that's true. That it has been my whole life. Of course you have to work 3 jobs to get money. That's a belief. So I would separate some areas of my life to understand. All right, and it's an inner work to do. You take a sheet of paper and you wonder, what are my beliefs around relationships? What are my beliefs about women, about men, about friends, about my parents, about society, about the life I live in, about myself, about money, about success? Like, if you believe I have to work 16 hours per day to be successful, then you can only act accordingly to that belief. So when you will sleep, you will feel like shit. My bad, YouTube chill again.
YouTube chill. Exactly.
But you will feel bad because it's not in your belief. And that's just a belief. Some people work 2 hours per day and they are very rich. Why is that? Because they created the belief first that, oh yeah, to make money, it's more about smart work or align work, whatever. And then they act with that belief. But the funniest thing is we all have different beliefs. We all have different beliefs, and that's how you understand nothing is truly true unless you accept it as true. And yeah, that's doing this inner work is extremely powerful. Understanding where not where your beliefs come from, because it can come from one post on social media, as I said, but truly wonder what are my beliefs, and then you're gonna have the answer. What is my belief um, about men, about women? If you're a man and you're like, all women are cheaters, well, first of all, that's a belief, and when you have this belief, I won't go too deep here, but a belief creates a filter in your brain, which creates a perception. Now you can see this life only with those boundaries. That's your life now. You have you have those limiting beliefs, and if you believe, so if you have this conviction that all women are cheaters, and consciously you still want to be in a relationship, it won't work. It won't. In one way you're like, yeah, I want to be in a relationship, but in the others you're afraid to be in a relationship because you believe women are cheaters. So you truly have to be aware of your beliefs, because that's self-sabotage, by the way. Self-sabotage comes from limiting beliefs. Well, all beliefs are limiting, but it comes from the belief you have. And we could talk for 1 hour about beliefs about money and success, because that's that's where we have all been conditioned to believe. Lots of thoughts, lots of negative emotions around money. I think they did it on purpose so we don't get rich that easily. But we have very bad conditioning, like, oh, rich people are evil, money, the love of money is the root of all evil, all of this. And you have it unconsciously. So you're like, I'm grinding, I want that money. Subconsciously you still have this belief that if I become rich, I will lose everybody because I will become someone I don't like. I will become evil. And that's like an invisible wall. This is truly powerful. You have all these unconscious beliefs. It's invisible, you don't see it, but you're going to sabotage yourself every time. If you believe if you get rich, something bad will happen because you watch a movie and the rich guy was evil, you can't get rich because your nervous system won't allow you to get it in a way.
Dude, 100%. There's so much distractions out there that are clouding your judgment, clouding your belief that you truly want to have in life. And that's something that society wants you. They want you to be enclosed like a sheep and believe what they're telling you to do so they can control you better, whether it's your employer, which is toxic to you, whether it's your toxic ex, or doesn't matter. It is a very serious thing. And if you don't truly discover who your true self is, and you don't have a clear vision and as to what it will take for you to get where you want to get, then you will stay where you are and you'll still getting consumed by all this negativity. And next thing you know, it's too late and you won't be able to improve yourself and become your true potential. Now, obviously we're about to wrap up very soon. You're still good on time though, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm fine. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
that's perfect. So it's pretty good because it's actually following up for with another question.
Mm,
If we had, let's say, 1 year to live for the people watching and whatnot, and despite all the noise and all the limiting beliefs they have, what's the one mindset shift every man right now needs today?
so it's around beliefs mainly, or
Yeah, let's think about mindset shift that that will allow you to become your true potential best self.
mm, yeah, I would say understand that the past is not equal to future. Like we are limiting ourselves from past identity, and this, oh man, it's you're being tied, you're moving forward and you're still tied to your past. And this, I've struggled with this for a long time, so I had to understand past is not equal to future. Even if your family struggle, if even if your brother sister, they are not entrepreneur, whatever, past is not equal future. Every moment you can kind of reinvent yourself into that person you want to be. Just like a butterfly, become that butterfly. You have to reinvent, and truly it's all about inner work, understanding who do I want to be, and then you stay aligned with that version of yourself. Because it's more about, yeah, it's an identity work. um if you're that man, how would that person act? How would he think? What would he who would he hang out with? How would he behave? What would be his body language? What would be his attitude? And all of this, and you start to align with that identity. It's like your future self. You align with it and you start to act accordingly. That's the only way you feel the vision of the future instead of the past. Otherwise you're still being tied up to the past identity.
True, true. The past doesn't determine your future, and I do the same thing with my clients, with my fighters. Every time we're doing hardcore sparring, we're getting beat up. It's important that we pause after, take a deep breath. We look back just to take lessons from the past so that we can apply it for the future.
Mm,
And this is very important because it is very crucial that you don't get stuck on the past, on the, oh shit, I just got my ass whooped. And you're staying in that state of negativity, which will prevent you from getting into the positivity towards the future. So, analysis, being able to be critical on your feedback which you're getting for yourself from your peers, from your coaches, it's
mm,
crucial. So sometimes you might need to get someone expert in your field, whether it's you're in a corporate or you're into becoming better in fitness or in martial arts. Doesn't matter. You'll need sometimes this external feedback to be able to check you on your negative belief right there and then, so
yeah,
that we can use anything that you learn from the past to your advantage. So
yeah.
this is powerful. And this brings us to the quick wrap up for the podcast. I mean, Matthias, before we start wrapping up everything, do you have any questions that you have for me that were kind of unanswered? Or
Yeah, actually I did write down
Mhm.
some questions
Oh,
about
you're open.
fighting. I'm very curious.
Drop it.
When you're fighting, do you have the time to be in your mind, or are you fully in flow state? I'm very curious about that.
Oof. That's a great question, and honestly, a lot of people who are in the fighting industry, they wish they can get into this flow state where they just deflect everything like in Matrix and they just win the fight, right? It's
Yeah.
great as a reality, but it's truly, truly hard to achieve that without proper work on yourself first. As in
Mm,
anything in life, business, relationships with your peers and whatnot, money, fitness, there needs to be proper work output involved in order to achieve the end goal, the desired end goal. In martial arts, it'll be the flow state where you're just getting in, you're aware of what's about to happen, and you just execute game plan. So
yeah.
from my experience, I've had already 8 fights, and I'm going to have my ninth fight next week. I'm going to travel to Montreal for a judo competition, so it'll
Mm,
be really good experience again to step into the mats, step into the cage, and get this feeling. There was times where I was not preparing as well as I should have to my fights, and therefore I was getting more dominated in fights, and it was getting too much in my head of, oh, what am I going to do, and therefore my performance wasn't as good because my confidence in my mind was more smothered. But there were times where I was literally putting in super great effort in my fight camp. My coaches were very, very supportive. My nutrition was good. My environment was good. And by default, it translated into everything was smooth. Sure, I would get hit once or twice, but it didn't affect the outcome of the fight where you get into this flow state and you actually do what you need to do, the game plan. And by default, you just win the fight. That's how it works. And my coaches always told me that fighting, preparing for fighting, it's 99% mental. It doesn't matter
Mm,
how many techniques you know. Like I can have the best technique ever when I'm practicing by myself or on the back, but it doesn't
mm.
translate towards when you need to really apply it in real life into performing. It's not the same.
Oh yeah.
So it's really important for you guys to understand, anybody who's watching, who if you want to succeed in school, in fitness, in relationships, you really need to be very, I wouldn't say judgmental, but very critical on your situation. Be clear on where you want to be clear on the steps that will lead you to where you want to be. And in order to get to each step, you're going to have to set the right SOP or strategy of operation or a strategy of work to get there step by step. And
Mm,
eventually, next thing you know, you're already there, you're living the moment, and your mind is not even worried about it. He's not even thinking, matter of fact, about all the hurdles that you had to go through to get what you want. Because that's all part of the process, the end goal that matters the most.
hell yeah, definitely.
Hmm. Excellent.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Thank you. I love it. Another question I'm curious about fighting. I just thought about it, but do you are you more thinking of winning the fight or fighting? Like, are you like Michael Jordan? He was saying fall in love with the game. That's they ask him why is he so successful. Just fall in love with the game. He loves playing basketball. As fighter, I don't know. Are you more loving the reward, like winning, or being in the cage and fighting and being challenged and discovering a new part of yourself where you're feeling alive, afraid, or I don't know.
That's a great question. And it's very crucial that we are identifying the distinction between these two. Because obviously, my desire and the desire that I have for my clients or my fighters that I coach is that we win, obviously. Because winning is great. Everybody wants to win. But winning is not always, I would say, guaranteed in your faith. Sometimes there's going to be destiny written for you where there must be a lesson learned. And sometimes it's not through winning. Sometimes the best lessons you have is through losses. So I want
Mm,
people to understand, first of all, that losing doesn't equal negative all the time. Sometimes losing is essential for you to learn so that next time you'll actually be able to win. And only true G's like you and I, or people in our circle, understand the difference. Now, how can I relate, for example, fighting with whether I want to win or whether I just wanted to be there to enjoy my time? And I have to admit, at the beginning, when I was a young, I started fighting when I was 17. So my first MMA fight was at 17 years old. And I would say the first two, mm, maybe, yeah, I would say first two, three, I would say even 4 fights in my career were mainly based around I want to win, I need to win, I want to win, like this type of mentality. And I
mhm,
did everything I could to dominate and get this W. It was super, super important for me to get the W for, proving to myself I'm worth of something, right? Because as a
mm,
teenager, I was doing this. I was trying to find purpose through martial arts, and winning for me was essential to build this belief.
mm,
But eventually down the line, I was starting to face more either opponents who were less experienced than me, or actually I would say more experienced than me, or just bigger in size than me, so just more challenging to face and fight. But I understood at this time when I was fighting, for example, a bit weaker opponent or less experienced opponents, it showed me the power of mercy, of gratitude, and actually not necessarily showing everybody, yeah, this guy is weaker than me, I can still beat his ass. That doesn't really prove anything to me if I beat somebody weaker than me. I actually use those opportunities to take my time in the cage with them, still
Mhm.
dominating, but kind of teaching them, trying to make them enjoy the experience instead. And that actually made me feel good because as we get out of the cage, we're shaking hands, and this person thanks me, is being grateful for, not literally killing him in the cage, I would say.
Mhm.
And that was good. That was actually more, how can I say, rewarding for me than just finishing the fight first 10 seconds and what do I have to prove to the people. Later on, I took the same exact mentality for when I was facing more challenging opponents, either more skilled, more taller, more bigger. And in there, I knew, okay, there is a strong possibility that I won't be able to finish the fight early, or I won't be able to finish the fight the way I want because it's more challenging. However, it's great experience for my career, for my life in general. Because now, if I just gonna get through it, I'm gonna have the stories to tell about. I faced this bigger opponent. I faced this stronger opponent, taller opponent, and this is how I got through it and still remained either victorious or just performed super well. And later on, I had a fight back in 2024 in summer where it was like a tournament. It was a street boxing tournament where it was 4 fights in a row that I had to go through. The first fight I lost due to decision, but
Mhm.
the thing is, I was pretty neutral about it because it's not a big deal, it's a fight, friendly match, same mentality. But it was my first fight for money specifically because there was a prize involved. There was like $400, I believe, at the end if you win the tournament.
Mhm.
So I lost the fight by decision, and I stepped out, all humble, shake the hands, good experience. But then apparently there were some fighters that pulled out from the tournament, and they were looking for a fighter to step in again, and nobody was ready to step in. So I just said, "Hey, I know I lost the fight. I'm still going to step in, even though there's no monetary compensation involved for me because I got eliminated early on." And so they're all like, "Oh, but wait, you won't be able to win money if you are going to compete. Even if you win everything, you won't win any money." And you know what I did? I just turned on my most gangster move ever. I'm actually gonna post it later in the reels. I said, "F the money, it's this," and I go crazy
Yeah.
mode on everybody. And so I showed everybody that I'm not there for the money. I'm there just to have fun. Just go through every opponent and just enjoy my time there. And that
Mhm.
was my most interesting moment about martial arts. It's where I turned on this. I just want to enjoy. I don't care about the money. I just want the
Yeah.
experience of fighting.
Oh yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah. So this is what it is. And I'm super grateful that God and the universe allowed me to go through those experiences, despite in the beginning me being afraid of losing, me wanting to win, and obviously working hard towards winning. But now I use the same mentality of enjoying the experience, not just in sports, but through life, business,
Mhm.
relationships. Doesn't matter what happens. I'm just there to get the experience and have these memories as I'm going to lay in my deathbed 90 years from now, 80 years from now. Doesn't matter. I have the stories to tell, whether it's good, bad, stories that people will talk about in the future.
Yeah, and you have that because you're facing your fears. You're taking risks. You're having adventure. That's
100%.
that's why you don't be afraid of fears. Just you have to face your fear. If you want to have experiences like Yonatan, you have to face your fears. Then you get a breakthrough. Then you're proud of yourself and you gain in confidence. That's how you become confident. Every time you face your fear, if every time you do something uncomfortable, what's gonna happen? Self-esteem up, confidence up. Now you love yourself more. When you love yourself, you're unstoppable. You have higher potential, and that's how it works.
True. There's nothing that's going to stop you the moment that you believe something bigger than you, but still aligned with who you are. So no matter
Yeah,
what happens to you physically, emotionally, spiritually, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be able to get back up because you
yeah,
see the light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how deep they're going to pull you down in the black water, muddy water full of crocodiles who want to take flesh out of you. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter, man. You're gonna get out victorious at the end.
Yeah.
So we're about to wrap everything up. Matis, we're going to right now offer services, whatever we're doing, and how can we help people out. So we'll start with you. I mean, what do you currently offer as services, as products, and where can they find you?
Yeah, 100%. Well, as you heard from this live, I'm doing life coaching, more mindset coaching. So people that feel lost because they don't have the right perspective on their current life, I help them get that alignment. So it's identity work, how to know who they truly are, how to feel aligned with a vision where they want to go, how to do the inner work, the belief work, and truly it's very fast, it's very effective results because it's like quantum leaps. When you understand who you are and what's how to transform your beliefs, you're like it's 10xing your life, so you get it from here to here. That's how I'm helping my clients. You can find me on Instagram in mindmats. um, yeah, mainly on Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel if you want to check YouTube videos to truly understand specific subjects about authenticity, how to overcome fear of judgment, rejection, all of this. And yeah, we do 3 month coaching together. And so you have this accountability together and you can truly just yeah move on with your life and transform yourself to get the life you actually want, removing because all of the time it's invisible walls, it's something you can't see, you don't see it, it's invisible, but the moment you just push them away, you rise up to the surface and now it's completely new reality and you just get on with this new life and new self.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and I will, guys, for those who want to reach out to Matt and specifically want to use his services and just inquire more about how does it look like to be coached through Matt, I'm going to drop the links in the description for his Instagram, so like that you can reach out to him and you'll be able to get everything sorted out. Now, as for me, I am based currently in Ottawa, Canada, Gatineau area. So for any people who are in the area, especially if you're, let's say, a government worker or a corporate worker who have this sedentary desk job and feel like you lost your edge throughout the time and want to get back to it through martial arts training or fitness training, I'm offering a 12-week program for you guys so that we can actually improve your fitness levels, your fighting edge, and perhaps even the way that you go about life, your nutrition, your mindset, your environment. So we're gonna sit down for a quick consultation, which I offer for free. Just DM me Banana Fighter Fit, and I will give you a free 30-minute consultation based on your fitness level, your martial arts knowledge, your mental knowledge, and whatnot. And lastly, this is a supplement that I've been promoting for quite a while. Fireblood. This thing is popping. So if you are looking specifically to improve your testosterone levels, your brain clarity, because sometimes you get this brain fog, this thing has all the multivitamins, multi nutrients, and multi amino acids to actually support you throughout the day. One scoop a day, and you get all the vitamins and amino acids you need. So if you buy one of those, you're actually going to be saving, I would say, a third versus if you would be packing everything together in one grocery bag and checking out at your convenience store or supplement store. So this will save you a lot of money. I will drop the link in the description to my store and to the Fireblood link. Check this out. Super cool thingy. So this is our services. This is what we offer. Guys, I hope that you found this podcast super useful and you took at least one key component or one key lesson from today's podcast. And again, I wanted to thank Matthias to attend.
Thank you.
You showed and dropped a lot of sauce for the people, which is going to help a lot. And it's truly
I hope so.
remarkable the work you're doing, man. So I want to grant you respect and show appreciation to what you do. And again, thank you for
Thank you.
attending.
Yeah, thank you, Nathan. It's been a while, and it's my pleasure. Truly, I love it. So I have lots of fun. Thank you again for inviting me. And yeah, who knows? Might do it again.
100%. Might come over to Switzerland. I have a
Oh yeah.
big travel plans coming up, starting with Asia, then maybe Czech Republic. We'll see, but definitely we'll connect in the future in person and make an even more powerful live like that.
Oh yeah. Oof. Oh yeah. That sounds good.
You ain't
Amazing.
ready for that? Nobody ready for that.
Amazing, bro.
Good. So, guys,
Awesome.
we're about to wrap everything up. We're going to end the stream right now, and the links in the description for Matthias, for for the products we're offering, and we'll catch you soon with another podcast.